Spacey Sims, and we are back with more London Detective Mysteria, and we are in Watson's route, and we are maybe getting to the end. I don't know. I think we have this chapter, and then we get our good ending. So we'll see. We got another couple of parts at least, because I feel like this is probably going to take. It's definitely going to be an hour. I highly doubt we'll get to the end in this part, and then we got to do the bad ending and the epilogue thingy. So 2.5 parts, maybe? I don't know. You never know, because sometimes these chapters are like really fucking long. So, anyway, after a deep night's sleep, I had awoken feeling refreshed. Under ordinary circumstances, that would have been sufficient to put me in good spirits. But these were not ordinary circumstances, and cheer had no place in my heart today. Though I had fallen asleep in Holmes and Watson's Baker Street office, I had awoken the next morning in my own bed, whereupon Pendleton had informed me that I'd not be going to school until further notice. This is the third day I've been stuck here like this. God damn it, Pendleton. What are you trying to do? Don't make me hate you. I love you, Pendleton. Actually, you know what? I'm totally fine being trapped in the house with Pendleton. Just don't put me in a cage. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I draw the line there. But everything else, you want to go ahead and imprison me in this house with you, Pendleton, and just, I don't know, take advantage of me? It's not really, can't take advantage of the willing, I guess. But, you know, whatever. I'm just saying, Pendleton. I love Pendleton in case we have not established that in the past 30 million parts. Ever since the day I had gone out to visit Watson, I had effectively been made a prisoner of my own mansion. Pendleton had even gone so far as to lock the door of my room. Okay, we're pushing things, Pendleton. You're pushing it. I had protested, of course. I tried to get him to understand my position, but to little avail. I understand that he's only doing this because he wishes to keep me from danger. I know that. Watson has accepted this arrangement as well. He admitted to me himself that he lacks the confidence to say with certainty that he can keep you safe as he is now. You know what, Pendleton? You're breaking my heart. I had thought I would finally be able to be by his side. Watson, whispering his name there, alone in my room, only served to underscore my feelings of isolation. It'll be all right now. I'm right here. We're closer now. Cock blocked. We didn't even get a kiss. The arms that had embraced me, the hands that drew me close, the gentle fingers that had wiped away my tears. Like, I do think they actually, like, legitimately, like, for her character and her actual personality, I think she works best with Watson. So I do ship this. And I actually do like Watson. He's normally the character that I don't fall for, but I do like Watson a lot in this, so. Thoughts of dear Watson, who had taken me in his arms as I trembled with fear, caused a lump to form in my throat. After saying all that to me, why would he now turn away? I wish that I could see him now, to ask him why he had said what he did to Pendleton. Excuse me, my lady. At that moment, a knock came on my door, and Pendleton entered. I thought you might like some tea. I'd like to get the fuck out of this trap, Pendleton. Hold me. Thank you. My eyes happened to fall on the ring on my finger that Her Majesty had bequeathed upon me. This ring is no simple adornment. It's proof of Her Majesty's trust in me. My lady, I can't help but feel that you've begun to lose sight of your position of late. My position? Yes, you are the current head of the Whitley family. Which means that one day, if all goes well, you'll no doubt receive a surfeit of promising marriage proposals and find among them a worthy husband. As the head of the House Whitley, and that's what's expected of you. So, are you trying to tell me that our love is forbidden, Pendleton, because it doesn't matter to me? I was trying to think of something else funny to say, but I can't. Pendleton just has me spellbound so much. That's enough of that. I'll be the one to decide who I shall marry. Even so, I cannot in good conscience leave you in Watson's hands, and not as he is now. At the mention of Watson's name, my quickly mounting argument ground to a full halt. Why must you bring him up? Much as it grieves me to say it, he's simply too kind. He lacks the resolve and action to match his feelings. But he will, someday. Perhaps he simply hasn't become the man he wants to be yet. He's too nice, he needs to be murderous. That's what we have you for, Pendleton. Just saying. I believe in him, that he'll find his way, that he'll stand up again through his own strength. Is it that you truly believe, or that you simply wish to? Of course I believe it. Now come along and bring me the paper, Pendleton. I had likely come across to him as though my bluster was half meant to convince myself, rather than prove the groundedness of my position, but I didn't wish for Pendleton to catch wind of my sense of unease. I brought it with your tea. Here it is. He placed the morning's newspaper on the table. Thank you. My lady, I entreat you with the utmost sincerity to behave yourself for the time being. Now, if you will excuse me. Pendleton gave a curt nod and left the room. It's at times like these that I need to return to my roots. I took a single sip of my tea, drawing in a deep breath. I'm one of Her Majesty's detectives. I need to sit back and think on these matters. I slowly took the paper in hand, the smell of its pulp and ink mingling in their familiar duet. A fox hunt hosted by Her Majesty will be held in Richmond Park tomorrow at midday? A fox hunt in Richmond Park? Wait! That's it! I'm like, did I knock? Meanwhile, at Holmes and Watson's office on Baker Street. Was this the event Jack the Ripper was alluding to? I looked down at the morning paper. Richmond Park. He loves hunting. Fox hunting to be more particular. If it'd allow him to offer up the ultimate prize to his master, the colonel would cut off any number of subordinates. I don't know if I'm doing his accent right. I feel like every time I do his voice, it's slightly different, but whatever. It's fun anyway. Why would he tell us that? I would imagine he found the thought of being indebted to you most palatable. Wow. You know I can't read, but Mr. Holmes gave his thoughts on the reasoning behind the Jack's divulging of clues. Behind Jack's divulging of clues. Not only did you best him in combat, you also saved his life, and that must have been a difficult reality for him to accept. It's not that I was trying to save him, though. Just acted without thinking. Even when Colonel Moran had pointed his gun at Jack, the killer had made no attempt to escape. When I saw in his face that he had relinquished all hope, a flash of anger took hold, and before I could second-guess my decision, I acted. You're a very forthright lad, honest to a fault where your own feelings are concerned, but you do have an unfortunate habit of acting without thinking. I'm sorry. If you hadn't arrived just when you did, I hate to think what might have happened. Still, it was precisely because you're the way you are that Jack the Ripper elected to leave you a most curious clue. I am not doing his voice. I don't know. Just whatever. You think I would, since I'm very Sherlockian and I fucking love all Holmes things, that I would be better at giving Holmes a voice and be like, this is the voice, but I'm just not. Anyway. You've suspected it yourself, haven't you, Junior? He's not a junior either! Huh? Oh, God. And then when he said that, I was like, that's what he calls Holmes. Why is he calling Watson that? Because he's talking to Holmes. Holmes, what are you doing? Sherlock Holmes looked down at me, not at me, but past me, and reflexively I turned to see what he saw. I'm in complete agreement as much as it loathes me to admit it. Holmes! But I thought you were still in the custody of Scotland Yard. Not exactly. He's remained under their watch, of course, but he has also been aiding the investigation. And all this time he's been concerned with how you were faring. That's quite enough, Father. Holmes interjected before his father could say any more. Still, I'm glad to see you're doing all right. I was worried you might still be feeling out of sorts after being tricked like that. Out of sorts? Me? As if that would ever happen. If I had the time to mope about, I'd be better served using it to locate those responsible for tricking me. Holmes sounded as full of confidence as ever, with determination in his eyes to match. Looks like your time in police custody hasn't changed you at all. I should hope not. You, on the other hand, seem to have lost a bit of your characteristic jollity? Oh, jollity. Jollity? That's a word. Jollity? I mean, jolliness. Jollity? Joviality? Joviality? Joviality. That's the word I was looking for, but jollity? Sure. Okay. Well, you know what? I don't know. Look, they say things like balderdash in this, which I love, by the way. It's a great word. But then there's other word that it doesn't. Balderdash doesn't sound like a real word, but we know it is. But whatever. Anyway, a pity. That was always one of your standout qualities, too. You're simply imagining things. I heard from my father that there's to be a fox hunt hosted by Her Majesty. I heard from my father that there's to be a fox hunt hosted by Her Majesty is to be held in Richmond Park. That is two different sentences that you just put together into one. I heard from my father that there's to be a fox hunt hosted by Her Majesty held in Richmond Park, or I heard from my father a fox hunt hosted by Her Majesty is to be held in Richmond Park. Two different sentences, Tim. The fuck? Pick whichever one of those you like. That's basically what he said. That park is a vast tract of land with large wooded areas perfect for concealment. Even if someone were to shoot at another person, the noise would simply be taken for another discharge of a hunting rifle. It could take hours before it was realized a crime had taken place. And the ultimate prize that Jack the Ripper mentioned would be... In this case, the only person I can think of befitting such an appellation would be the host, Her Majesty the Queen. The Queen? The Scotland Yard officers will be handling security for the event, but without having any idea where such an attack might come from, it will be difficult to prevent it. On top of that, Colonel Moran was once an exceptionally skilled sniper. Of course he was. He injured his dominant hand when he and I fought, and so may not possess quite the skill he once did. But the man is a genuine veteran. He'll choose a place where he can hit his mark without fail. Would it not be possible to just have the event called off entirely? And like, you're telling me the Queen is having a fox hunt in the park. Okay, right. She's not gonna have security around her? I mean, I guess if he's like hiding in a tree and sniping her and like everyone's like, ah, but like how the fuck is he gonna get away? I just feel like there's some loopholes in this plan that he's not really thinking of, because I just feel like it sounds like a crazy plan. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, alright. I very much doubt it. The testimony of Jack the Ripper, while compelling enough to us, wouldn't be reason enough to call off an event hosted by Her Majesty. No. However, there's nothing stopping us from investigating the park ourselves and revealing the truth. We may also be able to forewarn Her Majesty that she may be in danger. Holmes rubbed his chin, the unmistakable look of a tactician now set across his features. Is this all because of that ring Her Majesty gave you? Even had I never been given this ring, I'd be inclined to venture upon the very same course. Rather than simply doing what a detective ought to, I prefer to do what I believe to be right. Neither you nor I needs express permission to do that. Try though I might, I could never bright myself to be as bold as Holmes, or to cut to the heart of things as he so often did. Could never bright myself to be as bold as Holmes? Bright myself? Look. Maybe that's a way to use the word bright that I never knew about. It doesn't sound right, but what do I know? Watching him deliberate with himself, cross-referencing facts and evidence as though it were the most natural thing in the world, made the distance between he and I readily apparent. Where are you? Hi! You were just here and then you flew away. Probably smacked him with my bun. I don't know. Regardless, I'll be returning to Scotland Yard. I've been asked to provide my input on tomorrow's security arrangements, you see. You certainly are popular with the police. I'll take that as a compliment. Whatever the two of you choose to do, be sure you choose it without regrets. Especially you, William. I will. Mr. Holmes exited the office with a gallant flutter of his coat, leaving only his cryptic words in his wake. Incidentally, Watson, I apologize for having worried you. Holmes's apology came so suddenly and with such uncouth sincerity. Uncouched sincerity? Okay, whatever. Whatever. But I doubted at first I had heard him right. What brought that on, Holmes? Are you feeling well? And by the by, are you still under suspicion for the murder? Indications are that it will take a bit longer before all suspicions surrounding me have been fully cleared, but seeing for themselves the seriousness with which I have approached the case, the police haven't been keeping me under observation as intently as before. But never mind me. Why do you look so disconsolate? I was like, disconsolate. Disconsolate. Wow! Put the emphasis in the right syllables. Jesus. What? I do not. Feeling increasingly as though even looking at Holmes granted him the power to read my thoughts, I instinctively turned my face away. Honestly, you've been a poor liar for as long as we've known one another. I can see right through you. Do you honestly think you'll be able to take her back looking like such a sad sack? What? What are you getting at, Holmes? You were listening before, weren't you? Richmond Park covers a vast area, and the number of officers on hand to guard it will necessarily be limited. There's no way that one of Her Majesty's own detectives, and to be clear here, I speak of Spacey, wouldn't take a keen interest in this case. No! Holmes spoke as though all he said was the basis of common sense, and without thinking I interrupted him. I couldn't allow her to be exposed to further danger. That's why I don't want Spacey to be hurt anymore. I don't want her to live in fear. I want her to be her safety would be all but guaranteed, no matter how far apart it kept us. And are you satisfied with that? You don't understand. You have no idea how I feel. He's like, actually, I did, because I was in that position, and I also felt sorry for myself. What is it about boys being, it's like, they're all confident and great until they're in love with a girl, and then it's like, I second-guess myself, and I just, they have, like, pity parties over this. Like, this is what love does to people. It's been a long time. I don't remember. Yeah, you know what? It's true. It does. It all makes us sad sex. You're like, I'm so confident. I'm awesome. I'm amazing. And then you meet someone. You're like, I'm just awful and everything about me is wrong. I'm like, why do I suck so bad? Like, I'm just, so when you meet someone who's like that, it's probably not because they're like that. They made them like that. This is all your fault. That's all I'm saying. I made you like a sad sick. Oh, okay. Well, that sucks. Sorry, but anyway. It had been a long while since Holmes's words at last riled me up so greatly, and I could feel my anger burn hot beneath my skin, both at Holmes's words and that he had so cleanly hit the mark. I'm not some genius like you are. I can't solve cases on my own. I don't have sudden fits of brilliant inspiration like you do. Just an ordinary bloke with no standout skills who can't even keep the lady he cares for most safe. I knew in my heart that I was venting my frustrations on the wrong person, but I could no longer stop myself when the words kept tumbling out. So pent up had been my frustration that before I knew it, I was clenching my fists, fingernails digging into my palm. How long are his nails? Because, like, I can clench my fists and my nails do not dig into my palms no matter how tight I mean, they do, but, like, barely. And I have short nails because I always break them. Like, I'm just saying. I've never seen you in the throes of such melancholy before. I know full well that nothing I'm saying will change anything. Perhaps not, but there's one point on which I feel it imperative to correct you. On what? Listen well, Watson. Holmes turned to me and looked at me straight on. No matter how certain you may be that you're some workaday, ordinary bloke, in my valuation, you're anything but. Your presence is vital to me, and I want you to be fully aware of that. Holmes? You're my assistant, and as such, I cannot abide you having such a negative image of yourself. After all that, you still unflinchingly put me in my place as your assistant? It almost seems that you're having a laugh at my expense. Of all my acquaintances, the only ones able to speak so directly to me are you and Miss Whitley. That's because, what are you going to do about it? I can speak. What are you going to do? Like, if Watson speaks to you like that, what are you going to do? Punch him? Whatevs. You're not going to punch me, because I will fucking nut punch you, and you will not ever, ever touch me again. That's all I'm saying. Besides, I just feel like we have no filter, so. And still, I can excuse it in her to a degree. She's unique, after all, and views things through a unique framework wholly her own. He's saying we crazy, which is true. That's not true at all, Holmes. He's kind of adorable when he has this face on with the giant fucking... Okay, this is saucer eyes done right. Like, it's adorable. When they do the boy saucer eyes, you're like, that's so cute. He's like a little puppy. You just want to squeeze. You just want to hold him. You're so cute. She's not some rarefied specimen of humanity. She's just an ordinary girl. Hey, 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 let me be extraordinary, asshole. But Holmes didn't call us extraordinary. He called us fucking weird. But we are fucking weird, and I'm okay with that. But she feels others' pain as though it were her own. And that's why I couldn't simply turn my back on her. And I'll be the first to admit that, at times, she notices details that escape others' notice, and times when she exceeds expectations. You acknowledge that and still believe her to be an ordinary girl? I do, but even as I believe that, I also hold her to be, in my eyes, the most precious girl in the world. Who doesn't ever want to hear that? That's beautiful. I love it. If not for her, I wouldn't be standing here right now. I mean, yes, you would. Oh, you mean because Jack the Ripper? I'm like, yeah, you would. Why wouldn't you? Oh, because Jack the Ripper would have killed you. Well, I mean, if not for me, that might not have ever happened. So, like, but nor would I have ended up so desperate to help someone. I see now the importance she holds for you. Although I had long suspected she was your first love. What? How did you... Keen observation is one of the fundamentals of being a detective, Watson. You know this. Ordinarily, you can start a conversation with nearly anyone. I've never met a stranger, so to speak. And yet, at Her Majesty's party when you spoke with Spacey, it took you a moment before doing so. Based on that, it was a simple deduction that she must be someone important to you. You notice that? You know what? This makes it sadder if you think about, like, this, what I said earlier with, like, oh, we're his first love. That makes me feel bad about going down all the other routes because you're like, Watson's been like, oh, you're that girl I fell in love with. Oh, you're dating Akechi. Oh, that's sad. Oh, you're that girl I fell. Oh, you're dating Lupin? Really? Oh, you're what? Jack? Wait, what? But I've loved you since we were kids. And it makes it sad, right? You feel bad about it because you're like, poor Watson's pining over you in the corner when you have no fucking clue. You're like, la la la, let me just go off with this murderer. But then but this right now brings back that, like, oh, that makes me feel bad about all the other routes we're going to go down while Watson's pining over us. But it makes me sit here and go, wow, Holmes is kind of a douchebag. Because if he knew this, like, I kind of knew she was your first love, but, like, if we think about it on Holmes's path, he's like, I knew she was your first love, but, like, I'm gonna hit that shit. Sorry, bro. Like, oh, God, what a dick! I mean, I know it's not about the boys fighting over us. It's about our choice to woo the gentleman and, like, the things we do. But at the same time, it doesn't matter if everything about us was like, Holmes was like, oh my God, she's the most perfect specimen of womanhood ever. Because the bro code dude, you know that you were like, oh, she's Watson's first love though, man. I don't know. We gotta have a conversation about this. Like, and you were just like, she's mine and I'm going to gallivant off into the sunset with her. And Watson's like, oh, man, that gets you right in the feels for poor Watson. Like, but this also fuels more every time the first love thing is like, see, this is why I also think that they're better together because they were like the first childhood love. And you're like, that's so cute. Okay, I ship them. Look, Whitley chick, you can have Watson. I'm just gonna, you stay with Watson and I'm gonna be me and I'm gonna date Lupin and Jack and have some fun and like, and Akechi too. I feel bad because Akechi, like when I saw the characters off, I was like, I like him. He's adorable. He's the pretty one. I like him. But I feel like we haven't gotten to know him well, so I feel like Lupin is honestly like become my favorite. But because he's also fucking weird. And I really like Jack because like I'm really excited about this path because I just want to see what's gonna happen with this fucking murderer. Maybe it's also the fact that he's a little bit of a dick and he's got a fun accent. I don't know. But I feel bad because all of a sudden I'm like, all right, Akechi exists. Because we never see him. So I feel like when we go down his path, it'll be like, okay, here he is. And now we get to hang out. And now we get a little bit more interaction with him. And it'll be a little bit better, you know. We'll get a little bit more time to shine. And we'll see just how adorably awkward nerd he is. So anyway. Sorry, it just makes me really bad for fucking Watson, though. Everybody's stealing his girl away from him. Holmes, such a douchebag. Wow. This is why you did Holmes first, because if you did Watson first and then Holmes, you'd been like, oh, it would hurt. Anyway, of course, the party should have, by all rights, been the first time either of you had met, so I couldn't help but wonder at your behavior. Just how many years have we known one another? I notice these sorts of things. Yeah, I felt more than a little flustered that Holmes seemed to be able to see right through me. You put a commendable degree of effort to all you do, even though others may never be aware of it. For instance, the detail of notes you make for each case, or the way you carefully file letters and documents to memorize a case's every particular. You even went so far as to secretly learn to play the piano, although your covered up attempts at learning to handle a firearm didn't seem to meet with quite the same success. I had my suspicions that, in spite of my best attempts to keep my efforts private, he was still aware of what I was doing, but it felt rather embarrassing for him to prove it in so blunt a manner. I really can't even keep a single secret from you, can I? Think I'm gonna need a bit of time alone to think. Do as you wish. Thanks. The newspaper in hand, I exited the room, leaving Holmes behind. He watched in silence as I left. I found myself appreciating anew how wondrous a thing it was to have friends, but even this joy was muted, for over it, a cloud still hung. Did I say still hung and it was hung still? Whatever, either way, works. I wonder if Spacey has already seen the morning paper. I'm certain she'd have a few speculations of her own about this fox hunt. Pick up the phone and call. Pretty sure phones exist. Is that all because you have Her Majesty's ring? Even without this ring, my actions would not have changed. And more important even than doing what a good detective ought to do is what I personally believe to be right. To do so requires no allowance requested, and no permission given. I'm sure Miss Whitley feels the same way, too. And that look on his face is like, that's why I'm gonna steal her away from you. Yeah, that's so. And then I need to do what I personally believe to be right as well. How many times are we gonna click list? There's a lot of dots. Early the following morning, the day of Her Majesty's fox hunt in Richmond Park had arrived. I'm not sure who we are, so. Okay, we're me. Today is the day. Pressing my face against the window, I stared out into the distance from my bedroom. I could only assume there was some underlying reason for Pendleton to have left the newspaper there for me. I wonder if Watson has already taken notice. I need to go. I need to warn Her Majesty that she's in terrible danger. Unable to calm my anxieties, I gazed out the window once more, distracted. Upon first reading the front page, I had been so determined to escape that I had knotted together a makeshift rope of bedsheets. Oh, that's adorable. She's gonna die. But after all that had happened, I found myself unable to muster the courage to act on my plan of escape. Pendleton's gonna come in, and all you have to do is beat him over the head with the vase and run. Oh, I'm just saying. Or attempt to seduce him. He'll get flustered, you knock him off the bed, and then you run. I'm just saying, somehow distract him and run. Pendleton had forbidden me from going outside. I couldn't even leave the mansion to attend school. I couldn't deny that I had caused him no shortage of worry already, or that I had nearly been killed by Jack the Ripper twice. All right. Okay, I'm just going to jump over to Pendleton's side of the grass right now. Okay, we're over here. Twice. You've almost been killed by Jack the Ripper twice. Why are you making Pendleton worry like this? Okay, now I'm going to go back over here and be like, God damn it, Pendleton, chill the fuck out. You can't keep me imprisoned forever. I looked at Her Majesty's ring on my finger. If I fail to warn Her Majesty of this plot, something terrible may happen to her. And more than that, I would be betraying her trust. Plus, it's the Queen, Pendleton. You can't stop me from trying to protect the Queen. She outranks even you, Pendleton. What to do? I can't even ask Pendleton for advice this time. If only you were here, Watson. If only I could talk to you, even for a moment. I imagined Watson's face, thought about what he might be doing. But in doing so, I managed only to renew the ache of my loneliness. But as I turned my eyes again to gaze out my window, I heard the sound of a pebble hitting it. Could you imagine you doing, like the fucking rock right in your face? What was that? Puzzled at the sound, I looked toward the ground. Hey! Spacey! There I saw standing a familiar figure. The very same as had been ever present in my thoughts throughout my ordeal. He's screaming at you, and Pendleton's like, dude, I can fucking hear you! What the hell are you doing? I could only just hear him as he called out, but it was clear he was trying to get my attention. Hey! Spacey! I hurriedly unlatched the window, leaning out of it to shout at him as discreetly as one can shout. I guess I should point that out. Oh, look at how adorable he is! Sorry. That's so cute. And it's just the arms went out like, jump into my arms. Oh, dear God. He is so Disney Princess Jellyfish hair. Oh, our lovely little Disney princess. See how adorable he is when you can't see, like, the weird rat tail hair kind of thing? The jellyfish hair? Okay, you can't see the jellyfish hair. It's adorable. And then you see the jellyfish hair, and it's, like, kind of ruins it a little bit. But Watson, you didn't seriously infiltrate my estate, did you? I could scarcely believe he had snuck into the garden without arousing the attention of the mansion's servants. Escaping the attention of the easygoing maids was one thing, but even Pendleton? Well, Pendleton can't be everywhere. Wait, can he? Can Pendleton be everywhere? Is he fucking magic? That makes me like Pendleton even more. Spacey, come down! Below, he looked up at me, his arms spread wide. I knew full well the trouble I would find myself in were one of the servants to discover us here like this. But if we're seen... Besides, I'm a whole floor above you. This could be dangerous. Don't worry, I'll catch you. I trust you, Watson. Watson, wait! I've got an idea. I held up the knotted bedsheet I had planned on using as a rope, feeling it would be a safer option, not to mention quieter, than leaping out the window. He gave me a bitter smile, but then spread his arms once more. If you insist, but if anything happens, I'll catch you. All right. Such a Watson thing to do. I slowly began my descent, moving my hands from knot to knot along the length of my rope as my feet pushed away from the side of the edifice. I had snuck out of the mansion this way in the past before I had enrolled at the academy, so I expected I would be fine. However, my feet were made slippery by the morning dew. My hands, unprepared for the sudden tug as my feet tried to find their footing, released their grasp and I fell. Of course she was gonna fall. You knew it. I knew I'd be fine. I figured I'd be fine. She gonna fall. She gonna fall. But that's because Watson's gonna be right there to catch you, and it's gonna be beautiful. Ah! I had to scream. Ah! That's how she would scream. Time seemed to slow as I hurtled to the ground. I closed my eyes tightly, expecting to feel my body jarred by a painful impact. But instead, I felt the strength of Watson's arms as I was caught and drawn close to his chest. Come on. I mean, we knew that was going to happen. There's no surprise. I expected a beautiful CG for that. Come on. Are you all right, Spacey? Watson. As our eyes met, I found him looking at me with great concern. I did tell you to come down, but I wasn't expecting you to be in quite such a hurry. Oh, I'm sorry. It's fine, really. You aren't hurt, are you? He continued to look me over. I wasn't certain what to do, only that my heart was beginning to beat faster. I'm quite all right. Good, good. I apologize for asking that of you, though. With a sigh of relief, Watson gently set me upright back on the ground. I'm so glad to see you again. There's so much I want to talk with you about, and a matter for which we must make haste. I'm glad to see you as well. I'm sure we're setting ourselves up for a stern lecturing from Pendleton, but it's one more thing we can face together. I'm willing to accept the risk. After all, I can't simply stand idle when Her Majesty may be in danger. This is not the place to have this conversation, because Pendleton's about to walk out the front door. He's going to be standing there. He's going to be like, are you serious? Like, if you're going to sneak out, at least sneak out and run. Don't just stand here for about 20 minutes. I've been standing here for 19 of the 20 minutes you guys have been gabbing about this. Just saying. For fuck's sake, I'm Pendleton. I'm everywhere, bitch. I want a whole alternate game where Pendleton just fucking shows up and just always there and just like all of these things. I just need a whole 2-hour Pendleton path. I'm just saying. 2 hours. No, I need no, it needs to be longer than that. I just need just all Pendleton all the time. Anyway. So you noticed then. I figured you would. After all, you're... Whatever Watson was about to say, the words never passed his lips, and he fell silent. I felt his grip on my hand tighten ever so slightly. What is it, Watson? I'm like, is Pendleton right behind me? Nothing you need to concern yourself with. At any rate, we ought to make ourselves scarce before Pendleton realizes you're gone. Follow me. All right. I thought he's like, here. Fuck, Pendleton. I really was expecting to be Pendleton just standing there glaring at him with that look that says, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I love that look. His hand grasped mine firmly as we made our escape. His hands are covered in bruises. What happened since I saw him last? Even so, I could feel his warmth in my fingers and through my palm. And with that warmth, the gloom that had hung about my heart as I had gazed out my bedroom window dispersed as though it had never been.
Still, given the circumstances, I'm glad to have arrived before you decided to make a grand escape alone.
He smiled softly at me. His smile, I feel like I've seen it before. Yes, a long time ago.
She's, like, gonna pretend that she's just realizing this? Spacey? Oh, what is it?
Nothing.
Really? Oh, well, if you say so. At any rate, Holmes is waiting for us, so let's hurry.
Holmes?
I'll tell you what's happening on the way. Let's go. He's like, seriously, let's go. Pendleton's coming.
All right.
She said all right like 10 minutes ago. This way, Spacey.
I'm coming. Eventually, we reached our destination. I saw there was a single chestnut-colored horse waiting.
Good boy. Sorry I kept you waiting, but we're ready to be off now.
At Watson's touch, the horse snorted once, then calmly lowered his head. Watson, is she yours?
Yes, this is my horse, Platinum Rain.
Platinum Rain. Okay. I had no idea you had a horse of your own. He seemed quite attached to Watson.
Did she just say...
Is she? Yes, this is my horse. He seemed quite attached to Watson.
Is the horse a he or a she?
Pick an adjective.
Our paths first crossed in the school stables, but as I looked after him, he grew rather attached to me, and I've obtained the Academy's permission to ride him whenever and wherever I please.
He certainly does seem to be a very well-mannered horse. It was just the sort of thing I'd expect of Watson, widely loved by animals as he is, because he's fucking Disney princess. The sheen of the horse's coat was clear evidence of Watson's impeccable care.
He might well be the fastest horse in London, and we have need of that speed today.
He put his foot into the saddle stirrup and swung his other leg over the steed's broad back.
Grab hold, Spacey.
He extended his hand toward me. This is just, I mean, can we not have a CG of this fucking Disney prince moment right now? He's like on his horse like, give me your hand, my lady, I will fling you up over my back. While he's being Disney princess jellyfish hair rescuing, I guess we're the prince this time. Oh my god, it's a lesbian story. He's Disney princess jellyfish hair rescuing the beautiful damsel in distress. Ah! Anyway. All right. All right. I reached for Watson's hand. With that gesture, I found myself recalling once more the boy who aided me in freeing that deer from the trap when I was a child. Back then, there was something in his gaze that calmed me, in spite of the situation. It was the very same sensation I felt now, gazing at Watson's face. Watson, when you and I were children, might we have...
What was that again?
I opened my mouth in reply, but stopped before voicing a response. This is neither the time nor place to discuss the past. We need to hurry to Richmond Park. I grabbed his hand, and he pulled me up into the saddle with him. Never mind it for now. Let's hurry. That was the sound of a horse screeching to a halt. That's what it sounded like, didn't it? It was like a horse noise, but it also sounded like screeching brakes. Meanwhile, at Harrington Academy, I can't help but wonder if Watson is all right. Akechi gazed skyward as he mused on his schoolmate's circumstances. Kobayashi said nothing, sighing gently to himself.
Spacey hasn't come to school lately either, and Watson seems quite exhausted. Will you call off his training session today?
There's no harm in waiting a little while longer. If he never arrives, however, I'm afraid I'll have no choice.
Still, he's a strong fellow, and he has a good grasp of the basics now. I can only wish I was that tall.
His most prevalent shortcoming is that he tends to put too much power behind his attacks at the moment he strikes, which causes his aim to drift slightly. As a result, even his standard blows are quite strong. It's not a problem in a regular fight, but a seasoned combatant would have little trouble deducing exactly where he was aiming. So this is like the, we're going to be screaming at Watson, no, don't be predictable! Moran's a seasoned combatant.
That's very much like him in a sense. It's not just fighting where he stumbles a bit. He also has a tendency to tense up more than he needs to.
I'm surprised to hear such an astute observation coming from you of all people, Kobayashi.
Oh, hush you. Still, I suppose that's likely what's stopping him from being able to win a bout against you.
Not only that, Also of issue is his tendency to adjust his aim ever so slightly over and over in response to his opponent's movements.
That just sounds like he's being adaptable. That's not a bad thing, is it?
Adaptability, no. But in his case, it's a sign that his opponent controls the flow of combat. If one lacks the momentum to force his opponent to adapt to him, rather than the opposite, he'll never be able to claim the upper hand.
You make it sound like such a simple matter, but correcting it sounds as though it could prove quite challenging.
I love that we're getting this insight. Like, oh, what? Like, don't tell us, tell Watson, because he's not going to hear us when we scream it at him. Look at the way Akechi's looking at us. He's looking at us like, hint, hint, hint. That's great, but see, you're not listening to me, Akechi. I'm telling you, you need to go tell him that, because he's not going to listen to me, because he can't hear me while I'm screaming at the TV, and just like you can't hear me. See, I don't know how to get through to these boys. Anyway. I have too much fun with these. I believe he himself has not failed to notice this flaw, and now the only thing he lacks is an opportunity to conquer it. Akechi scanned the surroundings once more, but once again saw no sign of Watson.
Yeah, I guess he really isn't coming today. We might as well head back to the dorms then.
I suppose you're right. I just hope that nothing has happened to them. Finally assenting to Kobayashi's claim that Watson must indeed be otherwise engaged, Akechi set off with him toward their dormitory, all the while casting many a backward glance. Richmond Park, our destination, lies on the outskirts of London. It's known as the largest of the city's royal parks. Despite its expansive size, it's entirely enclosed by walls and populated with a variety of wild animals. King Henry's Mound, perhaps the park's most scenic vista, offers visitors a panoramic view of the center of London. It was in that self-contained woodland that Her Majesty's fox hunt was to take place under the watchful eye of Scotland Yard. Hunting dogs leashed at their sides, the nobles invited to attend the hunt looked out, admiring the park's scenic splendors. This is just awful. Like, I know this shit that happened, but it's like awful. Because it's not like, I mean, even still, even if you didn't let the dogs rip the fucking fox to shreds and you were going to murder that poor fox, like that poor thing is terrified and it's being chased by angry dogs. Like that thing is terrified. It's not nice. Poor little fox.
Sorry for the delay, Holmes.
Apologies unnecessary. I arrived by carriage with my father not long ago myself. Seems he's been asked by the Queen's Guard to assist with today's security. That said, are you certain it's all right for you to be here, Miss Whitley? And does Pendleton even... Let's not think over long about me. More importantly, has Her Majesty arrived? Not as of yet. Still, in the past, she's always come to watch the event, so I have little doubt she'll make her entrance soon. The park is bound on all sides by walls, with all of the guest carriages parked in front of White Lodge. Suddenly, we heard the barking of one of the dogs. And that sounds like a Jack Russell Terrier. They're a breed of small, agile hunting dogs bred for fox hunting. But I imagine there are quite a variety of hunting dogs gathered in the park today.
Excuse me, fox hunt will be taking place in the park today, and as such, the park is presently off limits to anyone who isn't on the guest list.
Easily able to tell that we three youngsters did not number among the Queen's invited guests, the soldier gestured for us to leave. We came here to deliver an important message to Her Majesty. Would it be possible for us to enter? I stepped closer to the guard, raising my hand to display the ring I wore. He hesitated for a moment, but nodded, motioning us in.
This ring is like fucking, it's the one ring! It's basically the one ring, except for it's the multiple rings. It's the many rings. To rule everyone, you're basically like, you see this ring, bitch? Yeah, alright, yeah, I'm gonna do what I want. Whatever, I do what I want, because I got the Queen's ring, motherfucker. Like, it's literally like having all the monies. You're like, I got a fucking unlimited fucking credit card.
Woo! That would be nice. My God. That would not be nice. There's a reason why credit cards have a limit, because people like me. Unlimited, they'd be like, sir, your bill this month is $7 million. Do you take kidneys? I got two. Fuck. It's only going to work for one payment, I'm just telling you. Anyway.
Very well. But once you finish your business, kindly vacate the premises. Of course, we won't do anything to disrupt today's hunt, except for rescue that damn fox and run. Take care then. Thank you very much. With far less trouble than I had expected, we were allowed to enter the park. Once we were greeted by a familiar face. Well, look who decided to enjoy today's hunt. And I see you've brought Miss Whitley with you too. Excellent timing on your part, I must say. I'm not doing his voice. I don't know, whatever. Father, how's everything here? Well, for better or worse, we've thus far found no sign of anyone suspicious or anyone who seems like his presence might threaten the safety of Her Majesty. I see. Is she currently in White Lodge? Not yet. She should arrive soon, however. At least on the surface, nothing seems to be out of the ordinary so far. However, there's one thing troubling me. The fact that there's nothing to trouble you? Because that troubles me. What's that, Mr. Holmes? Well, roughly an hour ago, one of Baron Blunt's hunting dogs disappeared. Hunting dog? What breed? A Jack Russell Terrier. From all indications, it was a well-trained hound and quite attached to the Baron as well. I see. I really hope he can be found. And I hope he's all right, I found myself saying quietly. To find an individual, be it dog or man, will be no easy task. This park is rife with wooded areas and bushes. I know. Besides, your main purpose here is to prevent an attempt on Her Majesty's life. The guy got the dog because the dog probably sniffed out Moran. Oh, you better not have hurt that dog. You think I felt bad when Watson shot a rat? Think of how bad I'm gonna feel. Colonel Moran, I will stab you. Hurt that poor fucking puppy. Not gonna let that happen. Exactly. And that's precisely why we need to narrow down the areas where our foes may be lying in wait. As if to punctuate his declaration, Holmes spread a map of the park before us. This is definitely going to be like 2 to 3 parts more. 2 parts more. Like, this could be the third one is what I meant. But it took but a minute before we realized that the park was far too vast, with too many potential places where a foe might lie in wait for us to investigate them all. It was then that we noticed an albatross soaring above the park's woodlands. It made a slow loop, never seeming to drift away from that area. Look there, above the trees. There's an albatross that seems to be circling the skies above that one area. Do you think there might be a body there? Some sort of carry-on, perhaps? Those were my thoughts as well. Albatrosses possess a very keen sense of smell, and if they... Espy a creature nearly dead, it's a simple matter for them to effortlessly glide above, trading time for the simplicity of an easy meal. Do you think it would be worth taking a look? Of course. The bird is likely not circling without reason. Wait, let me come with you too. All right, your knowledge could prove an asset here. If you do happen to discover anything worthy of note, I trust you to look into it as much as you're able to and inform me of your findings. What will you do? I intend to find out whether any other areas of the park stand out as suspicious, rendering their priority locations for investigation. I see. I imagine pointing out the dangers inherent to your undertaking would be insufficient to dissuade you from seeing it through. Breathe. That being the case, I shall simply advise you to exercise every caution, and should you happen to discover anything, I would ask that you inform me before charging in head first. Understood? Right. Oh, we're gonna charge in head first, and yeah, okay. See, this is why cell phones are a brilliant invention, because when you're, like, investigating for the Queen, and you're like just, yo, Holmes, we found something suspicious. Come to the old abandoned mill. Think it's Farmer Johnson in a mask. Just saying. Watson and I sped toward our destination atop the back of Platinum Rain. Again, I apologize for asking that we take a longer route to get there. No, you were fully in the right. If we took the quickest, most direct route, but were spotted by those presents we're trying to uncover, we'd lose the crucial element of surprise. Keep a tight hold. All right, your knowledge could prove an asset here. Didn't he just say that to us? Wow. Suddenly, we heard the blaring of a horn behind us. The peal of the horn was immediately followed by the baying of hounds. It's the stroke of noon. The hunt has begun, and they didn't warn the Queen. Forgot their things. Then we need to hurry. Finally, we arrived at the woodland copse above which the albatross we had seen still drifted lazily. Dismounting from Platinum Rain, we surveyed our surroundings. Well, this is definitely the right spot. great seafowl circling overhead seemed to pay us no regard. It'll peck your fucking eyes out. There's nothing here.
At first glance, perhaps, but let's take a closer look.
Watson scanned the ground. Oh! It's a mouse. Whoops.
It's a rat with a bomb! If the dog is here, it's likely in the bushes. It wouldn't be all that difficult to conceal the body of a small animal among the foliage.
Oh, they killed the poor doggy! Watson bent down, peering through the grass and brush.
There!
Watson called out to me as quietly as he could. He hurried toward a nearby bush and pushed back its branches. From within the shrubbery, he gently lifted out a small dog. It's a Jack Russell Terrier!
Now it makes sense. From the ground, this was something of a blind spot, but not from a bird's eye view.
Looking skyward, I saw the canopy of tree branches above was thin in this area, and the light of midday streamed through to illuminate the ground. He's been shot, but there's still some life in him. I wish I could help him, but I trailed off, unable to even finish my thought. Oh my god, it's going to be like a reenactment of our scene when we were children.
Agreed. Right now our highest priority is to find those who even now plot to take Her Majesty's life. And unfortunately, we were too late to help this little fellow.
The frustration in his voice was palpable. Watson gently lay a sheet of cloth over the dog's still, small form, and we set about searching the surroundings.
There are clear signs the dog was forcibly pushed into that bush, which shows that the culprit was here. That the dog is still alive means the shooting can't have taken place that long ago, meaning our mark is likely not far.
Watson whispered quietly to me. Look! Tracks! I pointed at a patch of ground nearby where human footprints were clearly visible in the soft earth.
Let's see where they lead. Stay low to the ground as best you're able.
Right! Gets on belly crawls. He's like, what are you doing? Staying close to the ground. He's like, not that close, Spacey. You're fucking nuts. I nodded my assent, and together we began following the footprints. Though at first easy to make out, the footprints became obscured by the roots of trees, making them impossible to retrace any further. But a little beyond our position, I caught sight of something. Look! Over there! Between the trees, I was able to make out a single black carriage. It was hidden well, considering its size. At its head, we saw two horses quietly resting beneath the trees.
Let's see if we can't get a bit closer. Step lightly, Spacey.
I'll be right behind you. Edging in closer, we could see that the carriage was empty, without even a driver or coachman to be seen. What we could make out, however, were several sets of footprints leading away from it. We heard in the distance the vigorous barking of the dogs and the pounding of horses' hooves, interspersed with the ringing crack of gunshots. They're completely focused on the hunt, and judging by the noise, they're getting closer too. We must make haste.
Well, yeah, because you're in the fucking park when there's you're not wearing orange hunting vests.
We're gonna get shot, is all I'm saying.
Colonel Moran, the Queen has made her appearance on the mound as planned. She is, however, well protected by the Queen's Guard.
Well, I'm trying to have some fun with this. We can make out the voices of several men speaking in hushed tones.
No matter. Take her out with sniper fire regardless.
Colonel Moran sneered, looking into the distance at King Henry's mound.
What does it matter to us if a few brave souls of the Queen's Guard forfeit their lives in the process?
As you wish.
But as the robed man lifted his rifle and took aim, Watson stepped out to confront them.
You aren't known on our watch, Colonel. I'll never forgive you for framing Holmes. Never. Well, if it isn't William Watson, it seems fitting that amidst the hunt, our track should be sniffed out by a dog of a different sort. Say what you will, but your careless disposal of the missing hunting hound led us directly to you. Huh! Where one mongrel loses the trail, another is liable to pick it up again.
Watson thought again of that terrier lying now beneath the sheet, a life he was unable to save, and clenched his fists in anger.
But the dog's not dead, so I just keep... Am I the only one that's like, but like, I really feel like they're gonna be... And the dog lived too! Good. You know what I mean?
Because he's not dead. The dog's not dead. I'm just saying he's not dead, so he could live. And if you kill the dog, I'm gonna be sad. So you better close up that loophole and be like, we saved the dog! If not, I'm just gonna pretend.
Why'd you shoot him? What possible benefit could there have been in it? And I shot it because it was an eyesore. It's the only reason I needed.
You're evil. If we didn't know you were evil before, you're really mean now. You killed a poor puppy.
And now I espy another howling dog. A noisome
cur that is best be put down. Colonel Moran laughed derisively. Take him out first. You'll have all the time you need to get the queen in your sights.
Right.
Their attention turned from King Henry's mound. Moran's subordinates began to slowly encircle Watson. He can't possibly take them all on himself. Also, one of them needs to battle Watson while another one shoots. I mean, it's not that hard. Just saying. See, this is why the villains in these are stupid. Like Jack. Wait, let me give him time to do a fighting montage so he can beat me. Come on, Jack, you're supposed to be better than this. Come on. And this guy, like, all 5 of you go beat that one kid up instead of, like, you beat the kid up, you shoot the queen. He goes to beat the kid up, he shoots the queen, and we're like, ah, fuck. Queen's dead, we lose. I mean, I'm just saying, nobody is really good at being an evil villain in any of these. I'm just disappointed. I really need a game where we're, like, the bad guy. And we're, like, stabbing all the good people. Like, I really need it. I really need this. I don't know, because, like... just somebody to school the villain. Like, that's how a villain behaves. Like, I'm not giving you time to do a training montage. I'm going to kick your ass the day after I tried to murder you. And then, look, you didn't have time, did you? No. Surprise attack. I got, like, 10 guys. One of you kill that kid. The other 10 shoot the queen. Like, I mean, you know what? 3 of you beat that kid up, and the rest of you shoot the queen. Like, divide and conquer here. Like, what the hell? Anyway. Unwilling to simply cower while he waged a battle outnumbered, I was about to leap out and rush to his aid. Stand tall, Watson. I'll back you up. After all, I have many questions for the Colonel, and I mean to have my answers. Holmes? That was Holmes, not Holmes. There was no L in that. But it was not only Holmes, for behind him stood others. The Queen's Guard! Oh, he had suspected that she would move to assassinate Her Majesty. However, your goals will never be realized. The hunter has now become the quarry, and the hounds have treed you at last, Moran. Mr. Holmes, thank you very much. I just feel like that was way too cute. Anyway, the thanks belong to you, Miss Whitley, for our timely arrival was only made possible due to you uncovering their location. Your courage is deserving of the highest praise. Marry me. But now, I ask you to fall back. Let us handle these rogues. All right. This is where Pendleton sweeps in and just, like, flies out of a tree and just, like, kicks someone's ass and is like, first of all, young lady, how dare you leave the mansion? Second of all, how dare you threaten her? I'm going to kill you all. I'm just saying he's a crack shot. You're in danger if you stay here. They've targeted you before. They'll not think twice about doing it again. I want you to run to White Lodge and not stop until you reach it. Oh, someone's going to attack me. And as soon as this has been settled, I'll follow you after. Got it. Not needing a second admonition, I broke into a sprint toward White Lodge. Someone's going to attack me. The sound of gunfire behind me seemed to grow louder with each second that passed. However, the entire situation felt somehow amiss, though I could not put my finger on why. Something's not right here. Already the bursts of gunfire seemed further away than when the fight broke out. If they were simply returning fire against the Queen's Guard, what would account for the more distant sound? Wait, could this be a ploy to lure the Queen's Guard away, leaving Her Majesty relatively undefended? What are they plotting? Just then, beyond a cluster of brush, I saw someone moving, a figure most unexpected. It was none other than Colonel Moran retreating from the battle alone, and it appeared unseen. How? Not all the people that showed up, nobody had eyes on this motherfucker? None of you fucking had eyes on this motherfucker? You're all like, let's just fight the... No, not Holmes. Sherlock, nobody was like, I got this bitch. Oh, God, guys. Oh, man, you gotta leave the shit to the women, because they'll be like, divide and conquer, bitch. Who's got eyes on the motherfucker? You got him? All right, I got this guy in red. You got that guy in red? Okay, everybody got... You all got a guy? Everybody got a guy. Okay. There's 5 of us, 6 of them. Where's the 6th guy? Who the fuck lost him? Who's got 2? Someone's gonna get 2. That's all I'm saying. Like... Oh, and we're the ones that are gonna... Not kick his ass. We'll probably get ourselves beat, and then a man's gonna rescue us, but, like... They were too stupid to realize he was escaping. I mean, he's the most noticeable of all of them. You don't notice him leaving? Wow. God. The men folk. Anyway. What is he doing there? That means the Queen's Guard are only engaged in battle with his lackeys. There among the trees, he paused. Bracing himself, he raised his rifle in his right hand, placing his left beneath the barrel to steady his shot. Ah! She goes flying through, kick him in the face. Oh, this is where Pendleton needs to come like a ninja out of the trees. But Moran's target did not seem to be the queen. Not at this moment, at least. Watson? I saw Watson locked in battle with several of the robed men, their focus on the immediate danger before them. Neither he nor Holmes appeared to have noticed that Colonel Moran had already slipped away. I know this is it. Oh no, if I don't intervene, Watson will be in grave danger. Unfortunately, the battle was too distant for me to draw Watson's attention. Even a shout would not reach his ears. But even as I wondered what to do, he had placed his finger upon the trigger. No, I won't let you! With a determination stealing my nerves, I flew into action. Reaching down, I took from the ground a stone and, with all the force I could muster, hurled it at Moran's arm. Bink. Ow! She throws a pebble and he's like, the fuck was that? Is it raining? Like, though the stone missed its mark, it succeeded in diverting his attention toward me. At least now Watson will be safe. He's gonna shoot you. You should have lunged at him. Ah! Tackled him. Then you would have knocked the gun out of his hand, probably. Maybe. I mean, if you're gonna get shot, you might as well have at least taken the motherfucker down when you did, but... And glad I was for it, but now I faced a different and even more immediate problem. Impertinent child! Wait a minute. I did say problem. I don't know why my brain I said problem, but my brain saw that as porblum. I was like, wait, that's not right. Okay. Colonel Moran immediately leveled his gun at me. I fled, keeping myself a moving target, but I now had his attention whether or not I wished it. Eek! And the smart thing to do, if you're Colonel Moran, but you know he's not going to do it because he's not smart, would be like, she's running away. Okay, and I shot Watson, and then just go back to shooting Watson. She threw a rock and ran. He's like, you know what, fuck it, go back to Watson. But see, he's like, I must go kill her now. And you know what? If all this time you would just shot the queen, she'd be dead, and you'd have gotten what you want, and she'd be dead. I'm just saying. I mean, you might not get away with it, but you'd have killed her. So you'd get away with murdering her. You'd just get caught. Whereas before you were gonna shoot her and run and be like, ha! But I'm just saying, he's not smart. The bullet hit the ground near my feet. I knew not whether to think it a warning shot or a near miss. I'm pretty sure it has shot you in the head, but don't move. My next shot will find its mark, I assure you. My aim might not be what it once was, but at this range, I'm not gonna miss. His rifle still trained on me, Colonel Moran drew ever closer. The fear that at any moment a bullet might rip through me kept me to the spot. I couldn't risk running, and I had nothing with which to fight him. Out of options, I soon found myself in his grasp. We're like over time, so we gotta find a good place to stop this. This is the end of the line for you, Whitley. The calmness in his voice as his fingers mercilessly squeezed my throat chilled me. Don't think this will go as you want it to. I grabbed onto his arm with every bit of force I could muster. You should be grateful to your friends. You've lived far longer than was ever intended. At the very least, I'll give you an end less painful than that of your parents. I told you he killed our parents. He kind of revealed that in Holmes's route, which was I was like, so he killed our parents is what he's saying, and then she just kind of forgot about it. So, you knew my parents then? You're in no position to ask questions. My feet touched the ground only lightly, my breathing strained. It's not for prey to understand why it's hunted. Even in its final moments, the greater design eludes it. I had no response to give him. The difficulty of drawing breath made it so, but that was not the only thing. I despise being at the mercy of such a man. There's nothing I can do. The truth I've sought for years, the knowledge I've wanted more than anything is there before me, but just out of reach. It seemed that this was to be the end of me. I'd yet to tell Watson anything, and it seemed that now those words would remain forever unspoken. But then, at the edge of my darkening field of vision, I thought I saw him. Yes, you did. So, like, I have a feeling this is going to go on for a while because, like, the Holmes part with him went on for a while. So I'm just going to leave this here. It's not really a cliffhanger. I mean, it sort of is. You don't know how the fight's going to go, but you know how the fight's going to go. Watson's going to win. But I just feel like this scene could go on for a while. Cause like he's gonna come in and they're gonna fight and then blah 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 and it's gonna be at least another 5, maybe 10 minutes. And the next thing you know, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, this part's so fucking long. So I'm gonna stop it here. And you already know I should have left her the other thing. I thought I saw him. Did she see him? Did she not? You would know if we had stopped on that last line. I thought I saw him. You would know. You're like, he's definitely fucking there. But it still would have been like, but I mean, maybe not. So obviously we know now because we're on this. But so it's fine. We know he's going to come rescue us. It's not really a cock block. It's just, you don't get to see the conclusion of the fight and him winning our love until the next part and maybe the one after that. I don't know. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.